I'm going to talk about Rachel Reeves and her husband Nicholas Joycey. Since they moved out of their South London home, but now the reason I'm doing this story is, millions of you, people like me, we're all suffering, struggling a bit after that budget from hell that Rachel Reeves imposed on us last Wednesday. Which is basically going to make everybody's life hell, apart from people who work for the NHS or in the public sector. The rest of us are just expected to provide tax in order to fund this Marxist government's socialist dream of a massive government, massive public sector, chucking billions at the NHS, and the rest of us can go to hell, work hard and give the government more money so they can give it to the public sector, to civil servants, etc. So we're all struggling, especially farmers. Don't forget farmers. She said over the weekend, Rachel Reeves, that the government can't afford to let farmers die tax-free. What a lovely statement that was, wasn't it? So she's talking about this massive inheritance tax that they're going to slap on all farmers who have farms worth more than £1 million. And that basically will make it very difficult for family farmers to pass their farms on to their descendants, their children, their sons and their daughters. So family farming may well die out because of this, and a lot of people think that's because that's what the government want. They want the land. They don't want family farmers. Let's talk to James Melville, social and political commentator. Hello, James.
Hi, Kevin. You well?
I'm very well. Now, the point is, that's the backdrop to all of this. Meanwhile, the Chancellor Rachel Reeves and her husband Nicholas Joycey are doing very nicely, thank you. They moved out of their South London family home, obviously, to live at 11 Downing Street, so they can rent that out. Nicholas Joycey, her husband, apparently owns another flat in London, so they are together collecting more than £6,000 a month in rent, £74,000 a year. Thank you very much. So while the rest of us struggle, it's good to know that Chancellor Rachel Reeves is doing very nicely. Thank you.
I think this is the problem why the poll ratings are tanking, because it's the hypocrisy of it all. While they're slushing around, profiteering and also indulging in freebies, everyone else is suffering. It's a different form of austerity this time around. The Tories indulged in austerity largely against the public sector. This is austerity against aspects of the private sector, the individual, the self-employed, small and medium enterprises and businesses, and as we've seen, farmers. Now, the farming debate is quite interesting, where they're trying to reframe it, and they've been quite clever in their own nefarious style, saying it's over £1 million, effectively trying to frame it as millionaire farmers. Yeah. Well, it's not. Most farmers, they're struggling in terms of cash flow. A lot of them have got huge operating costs and also overdrafts, so it's obviously on the asset value. Now, the figures have been disputed as well about how many farmers will be affected by this. It's interesting tonight that the NFU are claiming that DEFRA said that 2 out of 3 farmers will be affected, rather than the Treasury, you said 1 out of 4 farmers. You've basically got pretty close to 70,000 farmers who'll be affected by this, and possibly, according to death rates, about 500 per year. These are staggering numbers. And as you pointed out, there's a knock-on effect of this, whereby farmers, because they don't have the cash flow and they have overdrafts, are unlikely to be able to pass on their farm, sometimes for generations, to the next generation. And also, there's another bit. Which other family farmer is going to buy another farm that's on the market? Because they'll be lumped with inheritance tax as well. So you put all that together, and meanwhile, you've got government representatives in the cabinet, most of them who've never worked or run a business in their lives, are indulging in freebies and donations. And that is why I think the public have turned off against this government, and also why there's huge public support for what the farmers are saying right now. And actually, the entire farming industry, of which there's certain conflicts of interest and differences within the farming industry, understandably, because there's different scales of farms, this has united the farming industry, this issue over inheritance tax, and it's united the vast majority of the public who can see the importance of what farmers bring to society and the importance of our food security.
James, great stuff. Listen, are you around tomorrow night? I think we need to get you on. But I'm going to have to go now because I've got to go to the news. Thank you so much. James Melville there, political and social commentator.